Okay, we are going to try we have never tried a bourbon before. And this is the Old Grandad Bourbon. See, this one I saw on the shelf for about 30 Canadian, and I wanted to give it a try because in my experiments of these alcohols, I've never tried a bourbon before. Bourbon. If you look at the word bourbon, it's French, isn't it? So obviously there's a French origin. They took the word from France, but it could be also related to Kentucky, an area in Kentucky. Also perhaps a street called Bourbon Street in New Orleans. And this is the origin of bourbon, which is primarily from Kentucky, and that's why you see Old Grandad Kentucky Bourbon. Kentucky Bourbon. Let's try get some history on this. Back to Wikipedia. So it came from the French Bourbon dynasty. That word, it derives from the French Bourbon dynasty. The precise inspiration from the whiskey name is uncertain. It could include Bourbon County in Kentucky and Bourbon Street in New Orleans. And one of the things that it has on there is it's called bonded bourbon, which means that it's in a bonded warehouse. That bonded warehouse would be supervised, federally supervised, I believe, or supervised by some government body. Bonded bourbon means it's aged in barrels for 4 years. It has to be from a single distillery from a single season, and it has to be at least 100 proof. So that's the bonded bourbon whiskey. Here we go. Bonded bourbon. Now, I've never tried bourbon before. It feels like it should be sweet caramel type of flavor. It's very American, so it gives me memories perhaps of a lot of the Western films, or maybe sort of a gritty Chicago street type of flavor. I think a lot of what we know from these experiences, alcohol, are based out of some idea of movies or history of some sort. So before even trying a bourbon in my life, that I feel it should be sweet caramel type of slightly smoky flavor, kind of like a smelly bar, dirty bar. But it's owned by the parent company, Suntory Beam Suntory, which is Suntory, which is Japanese. So it's really Japanese who bought the Kentucky Bourbon factory. That doesn't mean that it's not Americanized by any means. They just carry on the tradition. This whiskey was sold as a medicine during the Prohibition era for people who had ailments and different disabilities. It's also quite old. It's introduced in 1840, so it has a lot of heritage. It's one of the top 5 whiskeys. It's one of the top 10 best-selling straight whiskeys. Comes from 3 different bottling proofs: 80, 100 proof, and 114 barrel proof. That would be interesting to try the 114 barrel proof. We have 100 proof here. 100 proof goes back way into the history. Country of origin is Kentucky, United States. Manufacturers Beam Suntory. It started with the Hayden family. First commercial distillery was created in 1840, and it's been in production since that time, despite several changes in ownership. It's in 1899, Old Grandad was sold to the Wathern family. The Wathern family who's brought interest in whiskey. Okay. In 1987, the National Distillers Group sold the spirits business to the Fortune Brand Holding Company, which became Beam Incorporated. Suntory Beam, or Beam Suntory. Let's give it a try. Let's the color is very caramel-like. What does it smell like? It smells like alcohol. What does it smell like? I have no idea. What does it smell like? Okay. It smells sweet. It smells. It has obviously an alcoholic, pungent smell to it. Alcoholic hit. I smell a variety of different sweet-smelling fruits in there. Certainly, I guess one of the preponderant smells is just that of sweetness. Perhaps that's because of my thought that it should be sweet. I'm not sure if it is. It also has that sort of, obviously an oaky, but not a damp oaky smell to it. It's almost like a refreshing candy. It would be like a whiskey candy. I'm really trying to pick out some flavors here, some smells. And I'm just not good at getting that smell. I'm trying to pick out the smells. I think there's a type of I think there's a type of pineapple-y smell, or maybe mango smell in there. Let's try it. Oh, that hurts in the nose. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. Ooh, the eyes are watering. That's quite strong. Let's try that again. Cut. All right. You want to try this, honey?
No, thank you.
Okay. Now, let's try it. I taste, let's try this. Okay, let's try this. The flavors that I do, it's a corn whiskey. It's a corn bourbon. It doesn't taste sweet like I expected it to. It has a rye. Again, there's a rye flavor that comes through. It does hit your throat pretty hard. It attacks the nose a little bit, and it's obviously 50% alcohol. It does have a. Let me describe the flavor. It's very hard to describe the flavor. The only thing I can think of is I'm not even sure it's multidimensional. Let's try. It has a very mellow, homey feeling to it. I think that this is, can't even describe it. How do you describe the whiskey? I can't even, a lot of people will have all those descriptive terms about different flavors. I don't really taste it. It affects you it has a very powerful effect when when you sip it originally. It hits your palate very strongly, and then it gives you the obviously there's a wood flavor to it, sherry cask or some other cask that they use. I taste the rye. I taste the wood overtones in the rye. In terms of sort of fruit flavors, I don't really taste them too much. I smell them a little bit. I would just be coming up with all sorts of false descriptions because it's very hard for me to pick out the different flavors in here. Okay, we would describe this as very hard to describe. I can't describe this thing. It hurts my throat a bit. It has a rye flavor. It has a flavor of some sort of oak. It has a very pleasant, smooth flavor as well, although quite strong. It hits your nose and your throat, and the back of your mouth, your back of your tongue. It could become I could see someone getting very attracted to the flavor because it is moderately pleasant. I would describe it as being an oaky sensation, a rye flavor sensation. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a movie, an American movie. The smell of an American bar and the taste of struggle, the taste of success, the taste of exploration, as well as the woody characteristics of the country. I'd highly recommend the Old Granddad Bonded 100 Proof Whiskey. Try it. Can't go wrong.